Righto, I'll start us off. I appreciate everyone making the effort and coming in. It's, as you so well put, we haven't seen the room so full, so it's nice that you're all here. I told the playing group this morning that this is going to be my last season playing football at the Geelong Cats, and felt that it was appropriate to do on a couple of levels, and that was because over the last couple of weeks I've been working through with my family and those that are close to me on what the end looks like, knowing that at 36 and being probably closer to some of the ages of the guys or my teammates' parents, that it was worthwhile thinking about that discussion, and Father Time catches up with everyone, and I don't think it has just yet, but for me it was clear that this was going to be my last year. It's also, I said to the group this morning, it was really important for me to tell them because in a job that I've been doing for half my life, that's the part I'm going to miss the most, is being in here and being around them and just having fun. And it's not only the current playing group. I also said that there's a part of our coaching staff, some players that I started playing with that have left fond memories, like everyone that's walked through the doors. So that was important. Also, it's good ability for me then just to really try and enjoy what I've got left in front of me. I think hopefully it's a couple of months, and I'm tracking really well with my injury at the moment. So I'd love to get back and be able to play a part. I feel either way, whatever happens, I'll be able to play a part in the remainder of the season, and really looking forward to that. So I've always tried to enjoy my football, and I think this is a way that I can really try and champion that for this last little moment. So thanks for coming in and coming down.
Well, Tom, first off, congratulations. What's running through your mind as you look at a pretty full room?
Well, as I said, I've been discussing it for a period of time now. It is a little bit of relief. That's been the hardest. One of the hardest things I've done was get up in front of my teammates and football department and staff and let them know. But yeah, it's obviously it's incredible having so many people, and particularly in the front row, my family, my manager Tom, who's been a big part of my football journey as well. It's nice to have them here because ultimately, I walked in with these guys, and I'm going to go out with them, albeit we're missing my mum and brother who's overseas, but they've been a big support of mine. So I'm a bit sad, but I'm also pretty happy and excited for when the opportunity comes, the next phase of life.
You said as well, like you've been talking over a little bit, but was there a moment that you like this is it and I've made this decision, or?
No, not really. No, it's just I think post the injury, it's kind of been an opportunity to do a little bit of planning and reflecting. And planning, when I say planning, it's planning for what the 6 to 8 weeks look like. And it also gave me a bit of an opportunity to do some reflection, and through those conversations, that we sort of thought that it was the right time, and I'm really comfortable with it. But there wasn't one particular moment. It's just a combination of many different things.
How did the conversation go when you told the coach?
We did that. I can't remember. Maybe a month ago.
Wasn't that memorable?
Yeah, well, there you go. For both of us.
No.
But yeah, I thought it was really important. I told Chris and Steve Hawkins and Andrew Mackey, who again, those three people have been in and around my journey for Andrew and Steve from the start, and Chris having played a major role in his time and our time together. So it was a really important thing to be able to, and respectful, to be able to let them know. Maybe they knew, maybe they didn't. It also gives them an opportunity to plan beyond the year. But I thought to myself at the start of the year, if it was going to be my last, if and when I knew, I'd let them know out of respect as being, the key figureheads of the football club and people that have been there through the highest of highs, but also the really tough and challenging moments that I've shared with them.
How optimistic, Tom, that you can come back this year and play more footy?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, Pete, I'm really optimistic that I come back and have an impact. I haven't, I've got a bit of a plan that I need to keep working through with certain people in the footy club, but I think that there's going to be the opportunity to come back and play. How that looks, I'm not sure, but through the whole process and the specific injury itself, I haven't tried to look too far ahead because it's just there's always that little bit of unknown when you're trying to reload your feet as a key position heavy player. So for the moment, I'll enjoy this experience and keep working away. But yeah, I'm quietly confident with what's ahead.
So what do you think you'll miss the most?
What do I miss the most? It's too hard to put a finger on, but yeah, certainly the relationships and people is what I'll miss the most. I came into the system, I was a bit fat and raw, and I've learned a lot from teammates on. I was always competitive and had a will to win and be the best, but being in that high pressured environment where it's high performance and collaborating with people is what I'll miss the most. I'll miss playing and running out in front of thousands of people, 100,000 at its peak. Not sure what it was at its, zero during COVID at its worst. So, but yeah, there'll be little things like, I'll miss seeing the family after a game and having those sorts of conversations with teammates and stuff. I will miss, albeit there'll be someone that comes and inherits the number 26 and hand that on and they'll leave their legacy. But I also miss that part of it because I was young, this age once with 26 on my back, and I know the impact that it can have on young people. So I'll miss that part. But I'll miss it all, Kingy. I'll miss it all. But I mentioned before, there's the opportunity that lies in front to be a dad, to continue to be a part-time, maybe medium part-time farmer is really attractive to me. And then just the exciting opportunity that's in front of my family, beyond football. It's never going to be replaced. There'll always be a big part of my journey, but do I answer that? Yeah, just lots of things.
So much is said about Geelong's culture. How important has it been to have that support structure behind you, and do you think you could have achieved what you have at any other club in the league?
I just don't know what other systems are like. I know that having teammates that have come here from other organisations and different upbringings and environments, both internationally and culturally. I know that I'm in a really lucky position, and I think we understand that as players, and that that we are so lucky to be in this place. But yeah, to get to your point, would I don't know if I necessarily would have. I think I was really lucky to join the Cats, obviously clearly because of what they've done and what, I've been a part of as well. But you need that luck on your side, and I'm just lucky that, through the conversations I had with Stephen Wells as a 16 and 17-year-old, we were able to, not that I needed much convincing, did I, Dad, to join the Cats, but it was a pretty easy decision, and they've been very good to me ever since.
Was it always a plan to be a one-time player?
Yep, absolutely. Always was. Never really sort of deviated from that plan, and ultimately the way I see the Geelong Football Club. So 18 seasons. Boy, if you'd told me that in season 2013, I wouldn't have believed you. It's been a hell of a ride.
Chris, what do you say to people when you explain the impact Tom's had on you and
It's a challenge to get it right, Pete, to be honest. I think, first and foremost, I think about the message to the existing people within the footy club, especially our young players that might have only seen Hawk for a couple of years. I said briefly this morning, we will all tell our grandkids hopefully one day that we got the chance to either play or coach Tom Hawkins. He's a game records holder, but just the chance to say that you knew who he was. Like, everyone will be able to look back on the vision and see his great feats on the field, but not many will have had the privilege to have seen him up close and the way he goes about it. We should talk about the really good moments, because there were lots of them and they were great, but I just loved how optimistic Hawk was. He was one of the reasons he was a pleasure to coach, was that you knew when we had a substandard performance, or when things were getting difficult, or where we felt we were at less than our best, that Hawk would always be the one, with a smile on his face, thinking about, what it was going to look like when we corrected it all. There was never any doubt in his mind that we'd get there. It's just, it's been such a privilege to have a group of players who have that optimistic mindset, that are just so confident that they could get it done even when the odds were against us. So I could talk for hours about this, Pete. I won't. Hawk should do most of the talking, but it is important that that we do keep talking about the influence that Tom's had. It's been an amazing period for the Geelong Footy Club, and time moves on really quickly. But it's important we do linger, when our great players finish, and try to find some way to keep a little bit of them around the place, even when they physically walk out. And as Tom said, this is the announcement for the end of the season, and Tom did a really good job of explaining to the players that first and foremost, he's always been driven. He's going to push himself over the next couple of months, but he's going to strive really hard to enjoy it as well. And the game's never been harder for players. And it's important you have players like Tom around that keep it upbeat and keep it fun. It's good for a coach too.
Good for some.
What little bit, Chris, would you talked about, leaving a little bit at a club after the person moves on to the next phase? What little bit would you love?
Well, I think it would be the last point that I made, that there's a lot that one can achieve as an individual, and team success is fantastic. But there are going to be difficult times, and in those difficult times, we embrace the people that make them a little bit easier, just in the way they go about their business. They're just Tom is he's a fearsome player, but geez, good fun to be around the club. And I try to avoid training with them these days, but I imagine the players that do would enjoy every minute, even through those tough sessions.
Tom, can you see yourself staying in footy beyond this year?
Look, I love football. Clearly, to be Still playing. I think it will be good for everyone to have a bit of a break of me to an extent. But look, I'll still be back. I'll be. I don't necessarily think in any sort of official capacity, but there'll be a big seat for me somewhere, maybe even two for me to sit on and cheer on the boys, because or the organisation, particularly the playing group, because I just love seeing. I've found it hard watching, but I'm also really going to enjoy sitting back and watching them, and maybe with my old mate in his stand, we could potentially. We do that, but there'll be certain parts that I really miss and will never be able to replace. But there'll be some great moments that I get to enjoy, and going to footy and watching the Cats win is going to be one of them.
Just the reaction from your family when you told them, was Emma like, yes, it's going to be around? And the kids, like, I don't know if the girls are old enough,
Yep.
they get it, they've grown up obviously knowing their dad.
Yep. Well, it's sort of been a mixed emotions really for us, because she's been one of the people that have been along on the journey with me right from day dot. So it's your wife and partners wear a big brunt of you as you ride the emotional roller coaster of playing football, and the pre-season and in-season grumpiness that you bring home. As much as I try and clear it, I still do bring it home. But she's been incredible throughout my whole journey. The selflessness of her role within our team is been incredible. But it was we fleshed it out a fair bit, and ultimately. My time is to be a dad, and that's always, family's always been first for me, and will continue to be, and the footy part I'll enjoy about going next year, but I'll really enjoy going to kids sports and just things that I've missed out on. So that was tough, albeit Emma's been there every step of the way, so we're constantly having those discussions. It was a little bit harder telling Arabella. She was a bit emotional. She wanted me to tell everyone that I might be retiring. But so she was a bit upset. It is a bit sad. But Mimi, Henry, don't know. I don't think they could give a shit, to be honest. Swear jar, sorry.
Do you see yourself, Tom, stepping out and playing a game for the club you had played for, and your uncles played for, where you grew up? You get that offer every year, don't you? You get the chance to
Go back. Thanks. Well, I actually got a message before from a kid I went to school with saying, was I going to come back and play for the Finley Cats in 2025? Now, I talk about partnerships, and Emma being one of them. It's not a matter of convincing me, it's a matter of convincing Emma to let me leave for 8 hour round trip up the highway. But we'll wait and see. At this stage, Courtney, you know me well enough. We'll enjoy this little period, and hope to maybe do that and tick off at some stage. But I not to get too serious, but I'm really conscious that I want to make sure that I'm in the moment here. I've got a job to do over the next 2 months, and that's my sort of sole focus. So like past players that have gone before me have said, there'll be plenty of offers, but there'll be plenty of time at the end of September to enjoy those conversations.
Tom, obviously your name is going to be in the history books at the Cats and in the league. Is that, from when you started to see what, I guess, that legacy you have with games and goals and premierships, that type of thing, Does that surprise you from, when you first started? And then is there a thing that stands out? A second question, just to Chris afterwards. Do you see more accolades coming Tom's way for his football, where he stands in the league?
Oh, sorry, it's a bit of information, but I think I've got it. But yeah. Oh look, did I think I would achieve? No, I didn't. I think the longevity piece is along with like the team success. I'm really proud of as well. But that's been the thing that's probably surprised me the most. But I've always had a ability to be able to enjoy myself. As Scotty says, which is always really important. I've learned that from some people I've met along the way. But yeah, the competitive. I've always been. That's the other part. I've always been really, really competitive, and I've learnt that a bit as well in different forms of it. But yeah, look, I don't want to say I'm surprised because 350 games is a lot, and 18 seasons is, but. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I didn't ever anticipate it. But now I've been through it, maybe it's not so much of a surprise.
And maybe if I can add, there have been times it's easy to highlight the successes that Tom's had, and he was a very highly credentialed young player coming into the system. But I think it's worth highlighting some of the difficulties he had as well. I think it's incredibly hard for 17, 18-year-old key forwards to come in and make an impact straight away. So in a way, guys like Tom are behind the eight ball, say, compared to midfielders. But the expectation upon Tom, even as an observer, so I wasn't at Geelong when Tom arrived, but even I was in Perth at the time, I think, you could sense the expectation around Tom, and that was a burden that he had to endure. Geelong were a very good team at the time. It was difficult to break into that team, and I think from early on, everyone could see the talent. I arrived at the end of 2010, and the talent was obvious to me. But it took a little bit of time for me to see the work ethic and the ability to reinvent himself in some ways, and that's what I admire. So he was an incredible influence on our 2011 season, especially the grand final. When the game was there to be won, Tom was one of the players that really stood up. And then only a few years later, after being one of Carja Greaves in 2012, I think, off the top of my head, and then endured some, in combination, had some back issues that were much more difficult than I think most people realised for him to play through. And it was through a period where the game was changing too, and the consensus around the competition with the smart people was that the way that the game was evolving, the way the rules were being tweaked, the era of the stay-at-home, big hulking forward was over. So if you think that Tom ended up, he's sitting on 359 games, I think, my recollection of that period, sort of through that 2014, sort of 15 period, if someone had have said that's what's going to happen, I think I would have been a little bit surprised, even as good as he was, because the ability to endure and overcome those obstacles was going to be significant. And so to the last part of your question, I find it hard to judge how things are going to be looked at in the future. But one thing we know for sure is he's going to be one of the all-time greats of the Geelong Footy Club. And I'll say it again, it's just been a privilege to be a part of it. I mean, even if you've just been at the edge of our footy club, even as a supporter, watching him come through, it's the type of stuff that you'll tell stories about. The day you saw Tom Hawkins kick a goal after the siren against the Hawks at the MCG, there are heaps of those stories, but just to see it up close has been pretty awesome.
Was it a plan to retire on the same day as Dusty?
No, it wasn't. I actually, I know, I was chatting to two of my teammates. When I saw not long after I'd seen us specifically Parth areas, and he thought I was joking that Dusty announced his retirement, and then I said, what do you reckon if I announced my retirement today, knowing full well that I was about to in 20 minutes, and he thought it was a good idea. I think I caught him a bit off guard because I smiling like a Cheshire cat in the front row when I wandered up. But didn't plan it. I'd sort of had the wheels in motion on the day for a bit. But he's it feels somewhat not embarrassed, but or maybe it's a pleasure to share it with him because you talk about champions of the game. He is absolutely one of those and has had an incredible career. So congratulations to Dusty and his family for what he's been able to achieve because it's I was going to say it's been fun to watch, but
No.
yeah.
Let's get back to Hawk.
Yeah, it hasn't been fun to watch at times.
And what would a 2024 premiership mean to you? Is that another one?
Oh yeah, again we're looking a bit too far ahead there. But I'm said it. I'm concentrating on what I can do to get back and help, and there'll be a way I can help in some capacity. My sole focus is on that, as well as just enjoying the moment with the people in the room. And I often think when I'm enjoying myself the most, and I've got a part to play there within the football club, and if we're all enjoying ourselves like we should be and like we are, often good things happen. So yeah, we'll wait and see what the year's got in store for the Geelong Football Club, but excited to find out what it is.
Tom, was your old mate Joel one of the people you could solve in conversations about how to go about it?
I was pretty clear in what it looked like for me. Obviously, being teammates for so long, and I think more importantly, great friends off the field. I spoke to him, and he was one of the few that I mentioned to along the way, and in true Joel style, he's been very, very supportive, and championed his thoughts of our time in the game, and they're really special. But it's sort of funny because they're great moments to have together with special people, but. Ultimately, we've hopefully got a life of 50 years to be able to come and watch the footy, together, and watch some of these guys standing on the side, and I won't say, and just watch them and enjoy their successes that they have.
The lineage, obviously, the Durs, obviously on the maternal side, the Hawkins on the maternal side, you've got 3 children, and there's options for all 3 of them potentially to pull on those. Is that
My children, yeah. One of them not showing out much promise in the front row of the toolbox, but doesn't know what a footy is yet, do you? But families are, and that's the reason they're here. They're very important to me, always have been, and it's great to see that they can make the effort to come along. They've sort of driven a few Ks, and it's nice because, as I said, they came in with me into the footy club, and with no bones about it. We're Geelong Footy Club supporters, and they having them here today, and figuratively means that we're sort of walking out together. So they'll always be there. So it's important that and nice that they could make it.
How important has it been for you to have the farm just 20 minutes away from work in order to keep balance? And then now that you've got a bit more time, what's next?
Yeah, well, it has been. It's been. I think that when you play in such an environment that this is, as an AFL footballer, you need to have passions outside of work, and it's something I'll carry on into the future. But that family element, and also just having the farm and having jobs to do, you know, it at times overtakes my thinking, and it's certainly with Reece and Jezza, a lot of our communication is on, much to maybe your discuss, is about farming and weather patterns and what's happening.
I love it.
Well, you're out our way too, so
I'm one of
you're one of us. So it's been really important, and it's come along at the same time as you know, our children, and it's just a great release, and ultimately gives me another passion outside of my biggest passion outside my family. So yeah, they've been very important.
Thanks, Hawk.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.